New details tonight on an area school district facing a budget shortfall. Administrators in Pender County Schools say they need nearly $3 million in additional money to make ends meet.
That's after county commissioners agreed to give the district more than $1 million extra for its operational needs. WECT's Ariana Bertolotti following up on this for us tonight. Now, Ariana, you talked to administrators who say they can't fill the gap, and if they can't, people could actually lose their jobs.
Yeah, that's right, John. Roughly 30 positions could be on the chopping block, but Superintendent Dr. Brad Breedlove says he's doing everything he can to avoid this. The Board of Education met today after county commissioners denied the district's full funding request. That leaves Pender County Schools about $2.7 million short. The board is now looking at where the district can cut costs with the least impact on classrooms and students. They're looking at cutting things like athletics and reducing substitute teachers by 25%. But at the end of the day, Dr. Breedlove says it's a gut punch.
And how do we impact the classrooms the least when it comes to next year's success? And so those conversations, it is hard and because everybody realized that at some point everything impacts the classroom. If you're doing things right, everything impacts the classroom.
Dr. Breedlove isn't the only one upset. Sarah Ware is a parent and president of the PTA. She says she moved to the district specifically for the schools, but she believes her child's education is no longer a priority. That's why she hopes the commissioners will fully fund the district.
I hope that they go ahead and fund our schools. And more than anything, I hope that this is a lesson to them for future planning so that we never find ourselves in a reactive position again.
The Board of Education is scheduled to meet with the Pender County Board of Commissioners tomorrow at 6 p.m. Ware and Dr. Breedlove feel confident the commissioners will do what's best for their community. Ariana Bertolotti, WE.